We could see a massive shakeup in the Dodgers bullpen. Roki Sasaki, Kyle Hurt, Will Klein, Dodgers postseason bullpen savior. Also, we've got some postseason roster talk. Michael Conforto has an open conversation with Dave Roberts. I was at Dodgers Stadium all week for Clayton Kershaw's retirement celebration weekend, it felt like. We'll talk about that. Also, we've got interviews with Ben Rortvedt, Benny the Vet Rodriguez, the Rottweiler. We actually talked about those nicknames, so you want to miss that. Also, Andre Ethier, Captain Clutch. All that more coming up next on a jam-packed episode of Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger Baseball. Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Roy, parade! We got it, parade! The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series!
Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. Mookie Magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain. Friends call me D-Mac. I cover the Dodgers for Dodgers Nation. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you are new to the channel, the postseason's almost here. We get a lot of viewers that drop in, listeners. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. If you're an everyday viewer and you want to support the show, drop a comment down below. I want all your takes on all things Dodger baseball. Also, join the Discord. The Discord is popping off. We got thousands of Dodgers fans talking Dodger baseball all day, every day, 24/7, 365. Go to gearup.la too. Some of the best Dodgers t-shirts in the game. You'll find it right over there at www.gearup.la. We have our Clayton Kershaw CK3K shirt celebrating his 3,000 strikeouts. So you definitely want to go pick that up as well. And also, Prize Picks. Very excited to be working with Prize Picks this month. And this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss out on any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Football's back, and after watching games all weekend and Dodger games as well, things are really picking up. And this week, I have Carson Wentz getting more than 210.5 passing yards, Jaylen Warren getting more than 57.5 rushing yards, and DK Metcalf getting more than 2.5 receptions. Now, I've been playing Prize Picks lately, and I really have no idea why I waited so long. It's so simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if you get your picks right, you could cash in. Also, don't miss out on this week's mass discount, which has Jalen Hurts at more or less than 0.5 passing yards when the Eagles play the Bucs this weekend. So, yeah, that definitely is a lock. I would definitely pick that one up. Download the app today and use code NATION, that's NATION, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code NATION, NATION, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link to download is below in our description. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. For today's Dodgers Dugout Live poll question of the show, I asked you guys over on the X, do you want to see Roki Sasaki in the Dodgers postseason bullpen? Right now, 56% say yes, 47% say no, the others saying maybe. So go over there and vote. And also, drop your comments and questions throughout the show. We've got super producer Noel Sanchez, Noise by Noel's joining us as always. And we also have our newest employee here, Emma. She's rocking with us. All right, Emma. So when you go to a Dodgers game, what is your order food-wise? We talking Dodger dogs, nachos? I mean, give me the whole thing. 8 beers and micheladas. What we talking?
Yeah, well, you took it right out of my mouth. I'd say I got to go classic Dodger dog, sets the vibe. It's also great. So
what's on your Dodger dog?
What's on it?
Yeah.
I like to put a classic, like, ketchup, mustard, all of the above. I'm about to put it all on.
That's fire. That's what is yours, Noel?
Go to order.
Yeah.
Recently I tried the chili cheese nachos. Those are really, really good.
Really?
I'm always
Banger.
a big fan of nachos, but I got it with the chili on top. It was really good.
That's what's up. You know how I get down. To me, the Dodger Dog's not good enough. I need a 16-inch
Oh, the slugger.
super slugger Dodger Dog. You guys know how I get down for sure. But guys, we've got so much Dodger baseball to get into, so let's get right into it.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
All right, so the hottest story in Dodger baseball is that the team has started to turn the corner in a lot of different ways. The rotation's been outstanding of late, save for Tyler Glasnow, had a rough first inning, but Dave Roberts, who's been pushing his starters more lately, he pushed them past 100 pitches to get through 5 innings. So really the rotation's not the issue. The offense, Max Muncy being back, you saw them explode on Saturday. Yesterday, they did not have a good afternoon at Dodger Stadium, but you still have Shohei Ohtani, and Mookie Betts has turned his season around. He's hit like an MVP since early August. Freddie Freeman is Freddie Freeman. You feel good about the offense. The biggest concern right now for the Dodgers is the bullpen, because in the last month plus, they've been about as reliable as the ice cream machine at your local McDonald's. And right now, they have some very big questions to answer, some big decisions to make. Do they go with guys that they trust? Do they go with guys that have had success for this franchise in the postseason? Do they go with veterans that have pitched deep into October? Or do they go with some wild card picks? Guys that don't have a lot of experience, but have bigger stuff right now and have been pitching better of late. Dave Roberts always likes to say that he looks at the back of the baseball card when he looks at certain players, because even if they're struggling, even if they are doing what Blake Treinen's done of late, where he has struggled mightily, where he can't seem to get an out or a strikeout when he needs to. He's essentially been a big reason why the Dodgers have lost 5 games in his last 7 appearances. Do they trust the back of the baseball card? Or do they say, hey, maybe this is just not your year? My issue with trusting the back of the baseball card is the back of the baseball card has all your stats and your accomplishments from your previous seasons. What the back of a baseball card does not include is your numbers for the current season or the numbers that you're going to post for that season and in the postseason. So for me, it's not what have you done for me in the past, it's how are you going to help me in the future? And that's why I think the Dodgers' success or failure, whether or not they win back-to-back championships for the first time since the 2000 Yankees, whether or not they fittingly send Clayton Kershaw out with a World Series title, is ultimately going to hinge on the decisions that they make over the next week plus for who is going to be in that pen. And I want to start with Blake Treinen, because this is the biggest one. Because, look, let's be honest here. Blake Treinen is most likely going to be a part of that postseason bullpen. Blake Treinen has had just too many big moments. Last year, Game 5 of the World Series, the way that he showed that grit, the way that he went multiple innings and gave the Dodgers everything that he had, and it led to Dave Roberts going out there and famously tapping his chest with his 2 hands, and Dave said he wanted to get some hands on him just to get that feel. And then Freddie Freeman, we know the moment with Freeman just shooing Dave Roberts back into that dugout last year so he could stay out there for those big moments. But the truth is that with Blake Treinen this year, it just has not been the same. It really hasn't. And he's been Blake trying all season to get back to that guy that he was last year. But so far, it just has not happened. And at the moment, he has a 5.55 ERA, a 1.85 whip. This month, Blake Treinen in September has pitched 7 innings and has allowed 11 runs. That's good for an ERA of 11.57. He has 6 strikeouts and 9 walks. That is not the Blake Treinen that was one of the Dodgers' postseason heroes. I'll never forget Game 5 last year, goes out there, pitches an inning, gets 2 easy ground ball outs, saves the day. Then in the NLCS, gave up a run. He was fantastic, but it was that game 5 where Blake Treinen pitched 2 1/3 innings and gave that Dodgers team everything that he had to help him get that win. Blake Treinen went 2 1/3 innings, gave up 1 hit, had 3 strikeouts. But are you going to get that guy again? That's the big question right now. Are you going to get the guy that got that massive 1, 2, 3 inning in the 7th, then comes out there in the 8th inning, and Dave trusted him. Dave trusted him in that 8th inning where he let him face Rizzo and he struck him out swing with that nasty sweeper. Well, the issue with Blake Treinen is, if you look at last year when he was getting those strikeouts with that sweeper off the plate, well, the reason why guys were chasing was because he could still work it in the zone. Right now, when he's not throwing strikes, opposing hitters are not going to chase. They are not going to offer at those nastier than a gas station bathroom type of pitches. And you've seen the numbers just continue to skyrocket. He is responsible for really 5 of the last 7 losses for the Dodgers. And if he can't get it together in the next week, do the Dodgers just hope that he flips that switch and Blake Treinen starts doing Blake Treinen postseason things again? That's a big question that Dave Roberts, this organization, is going to have to answer. And here was Dave after the game talking about his rough outing yesterday and what he needs to do to get things right.
I think that obviously he just wasn't getting missed. I don't know if he was being too fine as far as I thought the stuff started getting a little bit better in that Adames at bat, but he had count leverage and couldn't put him away. And, we need him. And, it was a good opportunity, a perfect opportunity for him to throw up a 0, and we just couldn't get it done. So it's baseball, but, hopefully after this off day, he'll be able to reset and get ready to, finish strong.
Earlier this week.
I think so. I think that, we talked about the hitters, and not saying that hitting and pitching is the same, but I do think that the ideology is similar in the sense of, as you're working through things mechanically, you're looking at the stat line, but once you get to the postseason and in that mind, then nothing else matters except competing and doing your job. And I do think that Blake is a little caught up in the mechanic part of it. And, the thought is, Dylan, to your question, the performance in the postseason, the success in the postseason has been fantastic. And sometimes there is something that kind of triggers in your mind that it's familiarity, the competition, and you get on a run and get hot. So that's what, we're expecting from Blake. Certainly, I know I'd like to see, some more consistent performance. But at the end of the day, there's going to be, certain guys that I feel that we're going to go to and leverage, and certain guys we're not going to. And, he's just, my trust in him is unwavering. And so I still feel very confident, when I call to the bullpen and Blake comes into the game. I think that certainly, the way he's throwing the ball matters. I've got to trust what I'm seeing, and not solely, bet on the person or track record. I think that we all need to see, a couple good outings, and but most importantly, I want to see confidence out of him. And to be quite honest, I think that right now, he's just not as confident. He's not as confident in himself as I am in him. And so I think the main thing is that we got to get that confidence back.
So that was Dave Roberts on Blake Treinen, and that scares me to hear him say that he has unwavering confidence in him. And I just think you just cannot blindly say, oh, we're going to throw you into those same situations as last year and expect similar results. Bullpen pieces, relievers, 99.9% of them are failed starting pitchers. And the reason why they're failed starting pitchers is they were unable to get that consistency year in and year out. And for the most part, Blake Treinen has been great in his career with the Dodgers, but there is history of him having very low lows in his career. This is a guy that when he was in Oakland was one of the best 5 relievers in the sport. And the following season, he was non-tendered by the A's, and that's how he ended up with the Dodgers. So he has had rough goes of it throughout his career. And right now, you look at these numbers, a 5.04 FIP, a 4.92 expected FIP. If you look at his numbers for the season, there's not one number that would say, oh, this guy has earned his spot in the postseason roster. He's a guy who deserves a spot. It's all based on what he's done in the past. But if you want to just go on simpler terms, the truth is his stuff this year is less efficient. Hitters are not chasing as much. And when they are swinging and he's leaving pitches in the zone, he's leaving those pitches over the plate, they're hitting it harder. So he's getting hit harder. He's getting less swing and miss. And right now, like Dave said, the confidence is not there. So the fix to this, I think, is sure. I'm not leaving off my postseason roster. I'm not saying that. I'm not willing to go that far right now, just because you still see some flashes of what it used to be. The at-bat chased by Matt Chapman the other night, getting swings way off the plate, the frisbee slider, the sinker, things like that. It's still in there. But I do think that you have to consider your highest leverage guys. And that's when guys like Emmet Sheehan become a possibility. And I think that is the second biggest question the Dodgers have to ask themselves. What are you doing with Emmet Sheehan in the postseason? I saw yesterday fans, D-Mac, why did Doc take Emmet Sheehan out of the game? He was cruising. Emmet Sheehan looked great. Why does Doc take him out so soon? Emmet Sheehan is getting ready to transition to the bullpen. And Dave understands that, yes, for most of these starters, it's totally fine to go 100-plus pitches with them because you're building them up because you want to stretch them out to give you 6 and 7 innings in October when it matters. But with Sheehan, yesterday, he went 7 innings, allowed 1 hit, had 10 strikeouts, no walks through 84 pitches. Could he have gone another inning? Absolutely. But the difference between Emmet Sheehan right now and the other pitchers right now is those guys aren't going to be expected to pitch in back-to-back games. And yes, there is rest in the postseason, not a lot of back-to-back situations outside of the wild card round. There are these days off that are baked in between, but it's a different role where if you're pitching 1 or 2 innings, you're emptying the tank every single time. They're high stress, high leverage innings, back-to-back nights potentially, and Emmet Sheehan is going to change into this role. I was talking to Sheehan the other day at Dodger Stadium. I actually showed him his picture that the kids drew him. Do you see those pictures? Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah,
they were wearing the jersey, right?
He was loving his. He was loving his, and they're wearing all the shirts, the design things. And of course, I had to turn into hey, postseason roll, right? So I started to go, hey, look at this picture, so cute. Are you comfortable pitching out of the bullpen? I kind of switched it up on him a little bit. And look, the truth is that at this point, it's a foregone conclusion, just without even having Emmet Sheehan tell you anything, because of the starting rotation you already have in place with Yamamoto and Ohtani and Snell and Glasnow and Kershaw, that Emmet Sheehan was going to be a guy that they were going to use in a different type of role. So yes, he is going to be coming out of the bullpen. Yes, he is going to be used in back-to-backs potentially. So that explains why Dave took him out a little earlier than you might have hoped, because if he was in a traditional starter's role, he would have been back out there for the 8th. But what I always tell you guys, don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. And what they're doing is getting ready for Emmet Sheehan to, who knows, maybe taking those innings, taking those high leverage, those leverage moments that Blake Treinen has been handling of late and not having any success with. Maybe they're giving those to Emmet Sheehan. Here was Dave Roberts talking about Sheehan and the decision to take him out when he did yesterday.
Could you see Emmet pitching and leverage?
Yes, absolutely.
Not something that he's done in
I'm
one
not
or 2
concerned
innings.
about it. I'm not concerned about Emmet. If you look at things, he's probably going to be in the pen. He's going on short rest. So there's thoughts of why I did what I did today, because he's going to go on short rest, and potentially having him ready for the postseason is part of the calculus too.
Will Stewart join you in Arizona as well?
Yeah, he'll be there as well on Tuesday. And then, so we have some decisions to make, but he'll be there in Arizona, yes.
So it's Emmet Sheehan. That's what he's going to be for this Dodgers team in the postseason, and we'll see how they use him. But the great thing about him, the stuff plays. 92nd percentile in whiff percentage, 32.3%. 90th percentile in K rate, 30.1%. 32.5% chase rate. I went up to Sheehan after he had a really nice start a couple starts ago, and I showed him his recent numbers, and I was like, 72 whiffs last 4 starts, and he just goes, let's go. So it's funny how some of these guys that are so good, like this stuff doesn't matter to them. They know their bosses. Like this is for the nerds like me or whatever that are like, all right, like what does this mean? Like I feel like some of these guys are so good just going out there like pitching free.
Yeah, and like I think with Sheehan specifically, like I think he's just grateful to be back on the mound again, just healthy, like doing his thing. Like you said, like I really think he doesn't even look like you telling him. It was probably him learning that.
Yeah,
from you know?
Absolutely. And honestly, that's a fantastic point, Noel, because that's another reason why he probably didn't go out there for the 8th inning. He's coming back off of Tommy John surgery, and he's a young pitcher. You don't want to risk that. Just the same conversation that always is had with Shohei Ohtani can also be had to a degree with Emmet Sheehan. So fantastic point right there. We got Bilal K here. Not even sure what Bilal K means by this, but he goes, oh, where has your D-Mac gone? Oh, where can he be? We could have ended this day being back within 3, but Roberts keeps pitching his buddy. Yeah. I think that was still the continuation of the song, but really nice job there, Bilal K. Look, you're absolutely right. And I said it last week, the Dodgers not sweeping the Phillies. Hey, now they absolutely could have caught them with a strong week this week. Absolutely. And you just know that Phillies team, they've had their ups and downs for sure. But now you look at a loss like yesterday, and they're going to win the division. You feel great about that. And that at least guarantees you home field advantage in the wild card round. But right now, the Dodgers' chances to clinch a bye are at 1.5%. 98.6% chance to win the division in a 91.4 win projection right now. So what did Dave Roberts just say there, though? He was asked if he's going to be used in leverage situations for Emmet Sheehan. He said yes. So now we have another domino that has fallen. We know it's going to be Emmet Sheehan out of the bullpen. We talked about last week. People were running with this whole thing I was presenting about the idea of Clayton Kershaw opening for Tyler Glasnow. I'm just saying, if Clayton Kershaw over Tyler Glasnow on Saturday, that would have been elite.
That post went crazy.
Because I think you got to go out of the box. Like, I think that like we always kind of wait for them to do things, and they're like, oh, okay, that was a good idea. But if you kind of really try to like look in the future and just they're going to throw everything at the wall. I mean, when they say that everything's on the table, I truly believe them when they say that. Now, let's switch to, I think, another massive development when it comes to the Dodgers postseason roster, when it comes to their bullpen. And I think what is the biggest X factor right now, and that is Roki Sasaki. He wasn't the Roki of the year. I'll take the L on that. But could he be the Roki of the postseason for the Dodgers? Well, yesterday, he went out there on a Sunday and made his last rehab appearance for Oklahoma City. And it was his second time coming out of the bullpen. And he was really good. He needed just 8 pitches to get 3 outs. He was very, very effective. We've seen the fastball trend up. Remember, early in the season, when he had the struggles, when we saw the shot of him in the dugout where he's emotional, where he's looking like he's trying to figure things out, the fastball just wasn't there. It wasn't there. And we're going to talk about why this could be different for Roki Sasaki. But first, here was Dave Roberts talking about the plan for Roki this week.
Did you get a report on Roki Sasaki?
Roki was really good. The stuff was good. So he'll fly to Arizona to come meet us there. And so we're going to have a conversation, but he won't be available to pitch till Wednesday. But he's done, what he needs to do to get an opportunity.
Do you try to use him maybe like in a leverage type situation? Or, because you're only going to get a couple shots for postseason.
Yeah. We're still trying to win games, and so this would be his 3rd outing in the pen, first in the big league. So not sure. We still have to make the decision of getting him on our roster, and then sort of seeing what we have that particular night will kind of make my decision.
So you heard right there. The stuff is good enough to have an opportunity. And we'll see how that comes this week. What will they do with Roki Sasaki? How they're going to get him in there? Because guys have options at Edgardo Enriquez and Justin Robleski. You've got Kirby Yates, who you could IL. Will Klein has options. So we'll talk about Will Klein here in a second. But Roki Sasaki is a different pitcher now than he was with the Dodgers earlier in the season. There was all the hype. Remember, Andrew Friedman told us last winter in Dallas that he has the potential to be, that they think he has the potential to be the best pitcher on the planet. Those are extremely high expectations, and it's the same league that has Paul Skeens, which that guy's an all-time great, right? So just saying that alone is already very lofty. And with the Dodgers, he didn't look like that guy at all, like not even a little bit. He had a 4.72 ERA, a 6.37 expected ERA, a 6.20 FIP. These are league worst level numbers. And the other thing that really stood out was against strikeouts. Had a 6.29 strikeouts per nine, had a 5.77 walks per nine in 34 in a thirds innings of work. And also, where was that fastball velo? I'm the idiot that said that he was going to be the Dodgers Roki Sasaki. I mean, the Dodgers Paul Skeens. I was the idiot that said he was going to be the Dodgers Paul Skeens. And he wasn't even close, right? He wasn't even the Dodgers. He wasn't even the Dodgers version of Mitch Keller. I mean, he wasn't even the Dodgers version of a all-star caliber pitcher or anything close to that. The fastball velocity averaged 96. And this is a guy that was sitting 98 in the NPB, and his fastball was getting pounded. Opponents were slugging 494 on it. But now things have changed. And I got a text this morning from someone with the Dodgers that said the sinker is back. And he wasn't talking just about Roki. He was talking about all throughout Major League Baseball. That sinkers, where a four-seam fastball, right? You hold it with the four seams, and it has that perceived rise that goes up in the zone. It can be flatter. There can be some movement that can be flatter. But a two-seamer works down in the zone and tries to induce soft contact, and you get a little more movement, you get ground ball outs, and most importantly for Roki, it gives you a different look. So he's got a sinker that he's been throwing out, and also yesterday, the interesting thing for Roki was the use of that slider as well. He threw more sliders yesterday, and the fastball was at 98. I asked Roki in Japan about how important it was to have that slider and add it to his arsenal, and he essentially said that it was extremely important, that for him to be the pitcher that he hopes to be at this level, he needs to find that third pitch. He needs to find that slider to keep guys off of the fastball. Because look, this is Major League Baseball. This ain't your Sunday beer league, right? This ain't the Savannah Bananas. This is the show. And it doesn't matter if you throw 100, big leaguers can time up a bullet, especially when it's flat, like the fastball that Roki Sasaki was throwing earlier in the season. But now that he's got more pitches, the velocity is back, the confidence is, I think, trending up. And also, let's not forget, too, when you pitch out of the bullpen, you're not thinking, oh, I got to manage this to go 5 or 6 or 7 innings. You're saying, let's empty the tank. Let's unload those bullets and empty the tank and throw as hard as I can for as long as I can right now, and that's it. So that's another reason that naturally his fastball is going to play up bigger. So now the next big step, though, is for Roki, who Dave said can't pitch until Wednesday. The next big step is him being effective in a big league game. And my fear is that, like, let's say he comes out and he's not great or whatever. Is that it? I want to see potential and how that stuff is playing. That's what I want to see. I hope they don't base his whole postseason experience on 1 or 2 starts, because I do think that the potential is certainly there, and that this should be really, really exciting, because he has worked really, really hard to put himself in a position just to be considered. And from what I've heard, the Dodgers, they want this to happen. They really do. And think about this. Michael Kopech, he's essentially done for the year. Michael Kopech, Dave Roberts said, has pitchable stuff, but it's unlikely that even if he does return, that he is going to be the guy that he was last year. And remember what he was last year, a guy that could throw 100, four-seam up in the zone, get big swing and miss. That's what Roki Sasaki could do. And then you look at Kirby Yates. What is Kirby Yates' pitch? It's that splitter down in the zone. Roki Sasaki has the forkball splitter down in the zone. So he can bring elements into this bullpen that they were expecting to have, but do not because of either the performance or the injuries to certain guys. The injuries to Kopech and the performance to Kirby Yates. And I know, Kirby yikes, right? It's been bad for Kirby Yates. I think right now, even though Kirby Yates was great last year, he's been a veteran, he's been great throughout his career, the stuff has just not looked good this year. He's a negative 0.5 WAR player, 5.23 ERA guy, giving up 9 home runs this year. 9 bombs have been served up by Kirby Yates this year. He gave up 3 last year. Well, guess what? What happened the year before that? He gave up 9 with the Braves. So is this an off year for Kirby Yates? I think it's possible. So I think that is where I'm at. If Roki comes up and he flashes, I feel like I'm throwing him onto that postseason roster. I think we could see something special with him. But remember Bubba Chamberlain way back? I mean, Frankie Rodriguez. I mean, these guys are unknown names until they become household names. And it happens in the matter of days and weeks in the postseason in October. And Roki Sasaki, something special could come with this. So it could be pretty incredible. Now, other couple names I want to get into before we get into some of these interviews here. I want to talk about Brusdar Graterol. Because Andrew Friedman, he talked to reporters on Saturday before the game, just briefly, and Andrew Friedman said pretty much that Brusdar Graterol wasn't going to be an option, that they have shut him down. He had the shoulder surgery. He's working his way back. But I was hanging out in the Dodgers clubhouse, and I was like, oh, wait, there was a vibe. There was that joyful vibe that only one of these Dodgers players really brings like that, and it was Brusdar Graterol. And I looked over his locker, and sure enough, there he is. He's smiling. He's having a good time. You saw him in the Dodgers clubhouse. And could he be an option? That's a possibility, according to Dave Roberts. So here's what Dave said about Brusdar Graterol yesterday.
Yeah, so Graterol threw a pen today, got to put eyes on him, and it was good. Stuff was good. And so, you know, we're still moving forward with Grat, which is great. He's not going to be in a regular season game. Pretty certain of that. And then so you're looking at, you know, down the road, but just to have him be viable is important because, you know, if there's anyone that you can bet on that hasn't really taken the reps in a season and will post and be good, it's Brusdar. He's gonna go to Arizona with us, and then he'll probably throw another pen or a live in Arizona.
So there you go. I mean, it's not an option, right? I mean, he has been in the Dodgers clubhouse for that final homestand, and he's not going to pitch in the regular season, but he has been throwing at Dodgers Stadium. And if he gets healthy, you could see him in the later round. So now Brusdar Graterol, that's an option. Brock Stewart's going to be back this week. I asked Dave Roberts about Kyle Hurt the other day, and Dave told me that, hey, Kyle Hurt has playoff stuff. So I wouldn't rule out Kyle Hurt. And then there is Will Klein. What the heck do we make of Will Klein? What do we make of Will Klein? Because this guy's got electric stuff too. He could do some of those things that we saw Michael Kopech do, right? Big dude, can throw 100, can hit the corner, and you just look at that stuff that he has. I mean, the dude's a fireballer. Like, the potential's certainly there with him, and he looked really good down in OKC. In his last 5 outings in OKC, the strikeouts were up. He wasn't giving up hits. He wasn't walking guys. You see him using that cutter, that sweeper, that four-seamer, hit 99, 100. I think that in the postseason we could see 102 from him. And the big difference with him is you've seen him increase his velocity a little bit. You're seeing different types of breaking balls, smaller ones, bigger ones, but he's mixing things up very well. And I think if you're the team like the Dodgers, it always looks at the stuff. Man, his stuff plus in yesterday's game against the Giants, the fastball. So league average is 100, right? Fastball stuff plus 110, cutter 114.8, sweeper 120.7. That is all really, really positive. I mean, you could see elite reliever potential if he could maintain that, but the stuff's legit. The stuff is 100% legit, certified, like, hey, this is the real deal type of dude, lights out potential. It's just the command. So that is another option right there. Okay, so those are some options. Brock Stewart's going to be back as well. I think Kirby Yates, that guy is probably not going to make it. Blake Treinen, I think, will. And we'll see about the rest of this group. Remember, you do have Shohei Ohtani as a bullpen piece in a clincher as well. But all right, let's read some comments, and we're going to go to an interview with Ben Rortvedt. A super chat from Raymond Renison. $10 super chat. Appreciate this. It should be Blake and Scott, but Scott gets paid too much. But get rid of Blake and Kirby if you can't beat bad teams now. Is he going to do this against playoff teams? Yeah, Tanner Scott, he makes $72 million for the duration of that 4-year contract. He actually has pitched better of late. By the way, if you want any other examples of Miguel Rojas being the team leader, like Tanner Scott, after his last appearance, I was in there, and he went all the way from his locker to the opposite part of the clubhouse to talk to Miguel Rojas and get some encouraging words. I thought that, for me, really stood out as, why would a reliever go and talk to Miguel Rojas, right? And he literally went over there to almost like check in and give him an update. And I'm telling you, like, Miguel Rojas is like definitely one of the clubhouse leaders, just put it that way. But Tanner Scott quietly putting together some better appearances. Has not given up a run in his last 4. On Friday, gave up a hit, but had 2 strikeouts. So you've had a strikeout in each of those. They're going to go with him. That's just how it is. Roy Estrada, we must beat the Reds. Yeah, J.Y. Kim, $5 super chat. Appreciate this. We got Roki said that he's been watching his NPB videos, among other things, to regain his velocity. I knew he could do it. We just need to give it time. Yeah, I've heard that too, that they have compared and contrasted all of his mechanical issues to not only the NPB stuff, to the WBC stuff as well. And sometimes that's what works. What worked with Freddie Freeman this year? He saw a clip of him hitting that walk-off grand slam because of a meme, because the Coldplay cheater dude, and that turned his season around. Sometimes you can see things and pick up a cue, and for Roki, I think it's a combination of a lot of things. Health, the shoulder getting better, mechanics getting tighter, getting some more confidence and things like that. A $50 super chat. My man, Tom Vernia. There we go. Give you some love, a little comment of the show for that. $50 super chat. Wow. D-Mac, this is for the hot dogs the other night. Oh, thanks, Tom Vernia. Really appreciate
Wait, what hot
that.
dogs are you talking about?
I think, I don't know.
You ate some hot dogs on the stream and you didn't invite me? That's kind of crazy.
So Michael Duarte, he really wants me to do the 9 for 9 challenge.
Oh my God.
9 hot dogs. And he actually got me 2 Diet Cokes and 2 hot dogs. And I was, you know.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I stuffed it in my mouth.
Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, that 9 for 9 challenge would be a lot for me. You know, I just don't
What'd you
think.
put on the hot dogs?
I go, he actually did it for me, but there was like just ketchup, which is kind of whack. I mean, I like ketchup, mustard, onions,
the full amount.
relish. I take advantage. I don't think I could do the 9 for 9 with hot dogs, but I could definitely do it with tortas. If it was tortas, I would crush. I could do 90 for 90 for the tortas.
Dude, we gotta think of some kind of like, if this happens with the Dodgers, then you have to do that.
Well, I when I walked around the stadium, I told you, I walked around, I said mom was there and the whole gang and stuff. I walked around a little more. I had a good amount of people come up to me saying that they're not going to let it go for the Michael Conforto tattoo.
Yeah.
That if Conforto wins the NLCS, the World Series MVP, that I'm going to have to do it, and I'm going to have to do it live.
There we go.
Do it live on a live stream. So
get a Banda's tattoo artist to do it.
Get Banda's tattoo artist. Hey, that's a you know, I'll probably get Mr. Cartoon or someone.
Oh yeah, even better.
No, I'll probably go down. I'll probably get the cheapest one possible for sure. But if we got Brandon Laurie, can someone Venmo me $7 so I can buy 2 tall boys tonight? What, are you just gonna go to 7-Eleven? I mean, there's no game, right? So hey, What's your go-to tall boy for sure? You know what's the thing about tall? Would you rather have 2 tall boys or 4 12 ounces? Because me, it's like I can crush them. You know, Chuck McKain is still in here,
Still alive.
but I like the most carbonated like version of the drink.
Yeah.
Right, like a Modelo.
You know,
Right.
I just honestly like tall boys are like classic. I'm not a big fan of cans though.
You don't like cans like the bottles?
Like the bottles, yeah, or like off the
Yeah.
tap. I'm not a big can guy, but of course, classic.
I like the cans. I like it all, man. I mean, when you're down to just crush anything, it's good times. But I think I go with the four cans.
Yeah.
Ravy Guzman, what's going on with Kim D-Mac? Talk about him. He's been a bench warmer and why. We'll answer that a little later in the show. We'll talk about that during the 7th inning stretch. We got Lola. Baseball is a game of instinct. Trust that. Malachi Ferreira got 2 gold Kirsch bobbleheads on Saturday. You got 2? How'd you get 2? Someone in the press box, Angela, she had 1. It was pretty cool. It was like C3KPO. That's what I was calling. It was like C3PO, but okay, that was whack. I'll give myself a break.
No, it's pretty cool.
Nah,
So like people got the gold ones, and then I believe there was like a silver version that people were getting if they renewed their season tickets for next year.
Oh, well, that's wow.
There's like it's like a platinum version.
A platinum one? Okay, nice job, Dodgers marketing. I got to respect that. All right, but so we'll answer those questions later. We got Just Lamas. Can I get a shout out watching from France? Comment allez-vous? 9:24 p.m. Tall Ken Chit. I wish the Dodgers had signed Tanner and Yates with a pencil with a big eraser. Wow. Finish him. Fire take. You're killing the game. All right, guys. So here, let's talk some Ben Rortvedt, because with the bullpen still figured things out, like Will Klein, Brock Stewart, Kyle Hurt, Roki Sasaki, Brusdar is a possibility. There's names they're juggling with, but how about who are these guys going to be throwing to? Because Will Smith has a hairline fracture in his hand. He's doubtful for even the start of the wild card round. We'll see what version they get of Will Smith, how that impacts him at the plate. This is big news. The good news, though, is that Ben Rortvedt has showed up and showed out since he has been behind the dish for the Dodgers. And I caught up with him before the game a couple days ago, and here was my conversation with my man, Benny the Vet Rodriguez. All right, Dodgers Nation, welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. And we've got the latest Dodgers fan favorite. This guy is becoming the myth, the legend, Ben Rortvedt, joining us. I told him your latest nickname, Benny the Rortvedt Rodriguez. We talked about the Rottweiler. What is your nickname that your teammates give you?
I don't really have one. Everyone's kind of just rolling because they can't say my last name. They just say Rort. Everyone says Benny Biceps. That one's kind of old, but I don't have one, so I just go by Ben. Ben's short enough.
Well, the most important thing is you have come up and you've made an impact. I asked Dave Roberts a couple days ago just his takeaway from your experience here, and he said that he's been over the moon and that there's never a bad at bat. The relationship that you build with these pitchers. So the first thing I want to ask you about is how have you been able to build that relationship and that trust with these guys so quickly?
Yeah, it's weird. I've had kind of this weird come up with New York and Rays where I've had to learn pitching staffs on the fly, so I feel like this isn't my first time, and it definitely hasn't made anything easier, but I just kind of learned that trust isn't built in a day by any means. I bet it still isn't kind of full intact. The more you can show up, the more you have conversations, the more you're in the fire with the guys, the more you show you care, the more you're out there catching early bullpens for them, really getting a feel for stuff. It's gained. It's gained through experience, so it's always a work in progress, as everything is in life. But yeah, it's slowly and hopefully surely, and it's just what it is, honestly.
And the pitch framing. Everyone talks about the pitch framing. What is the biggest key to being a great pitch framer?
Making sure strikes are strikes, and then possibly getting some balls. I think the main thing is, I think the framing can get kind of overblown sometimes, but you just want to capitalize on as many strikes as you can to flip counts. So I think the main thing is just keeping that strikes in the zone aren't called balls, and if you get some strikes along with that, I mean, that's great.
And Ben, I just want to know from you, just the whirlwind it's been. I mean, you start the year in a different organization. You're here with the Dodgers, a team that World Series aspirations, the most talented team roster-wise in the league. Just how's it been just with all these stars and the pitching staff to be able to handle them? What's it been like for you, just the whirlwind of joining this club?
Yeah, it's been incredible. I still haven't really kind of wrapped my head around it. I try to be really where I'm at. with what I'm thinking. And it's been really fast. I mean, this year's been, early in the year was extremely tough for me. It's probably one of my hardest years. I thought I did a good job catching. I didn't hit, and had to take a good look at myself in the mirror. In spring training, I never got comfortable. I was trying a lot of things, and I kind of got back to kind of where I was last year and just be able to compete in the box. So obviously got traded here, which was a good scenery change. There's extremely smart people within the organization that have helped me out, and just I feel like I'm at a point now where I can just have, like you said, competitive at-bats. I think that's the main thing for me. I mean, my job is to catch and do a good job back there. That's always going to be number one, but the more I can try and run the pitch count up, get on base, get some knocks as I can, the more benefit I'm going to have turning the lineup over.
Yeah, I mean, you're hitting over 300, 2 consecutive games with a hit. I mean, what has been the difference with you at the plate? You talked about your approach, just wanting to turn off the lineup, get into the big boys, but you've been an impact bat as well.
Yeah, like I said, just be competitive. Know what I'm up there to do: swing at strikes, take balls, pass the baton, put the ball in play. Just that. I mean, just have tough at bats, be a hard out, see the ball deep. Just those kind of things. Have you changed anything since you joined this organization? Yeah, some things here and there. Like I said, I really dove into some stuff in spring training. I thought I had a really good off season, and I've always said that you have to get worse to get better, which I definitely got worse. But I learned things along the way of kind of like what kind of player I want to be, what worked for me in the past, what hasn't. And so yeah, I've definitely kind of, I think I'm in a good place, and I have people in line to kind of keep me in that place. So. Yeah, and your teammates have said a lot of great things about you. How have they made it easy for you in that clubhouse? Just what's that clubhouse like, and how have they made that transition to this new team easy? Yeah, I know everyone's been great. Everyone's been supportive. Can't ask for anything different. I mean, everyone's welcomed me with open arms and been extremely supportive, and been an open line for me to like bounce things off of. So it's been fantastic. Everyone in here is an amazing person, so it's been real easy. All right, Ben, I did my best to try to get this long without asking about Clayton Kershaw, but this is Kershaw days. His last regular season start. Just what is it from your end, just the level of greatness for him? I mean, talk about just kind of being a part of this and your just thoughts of having him as your teammate. No, it's crazy. Obviously, I have not been here long, so I cannot speak to as much as a lot of these guys have been, but everyone knows Clayton Kershaw. Everyone knows Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers, and it's really incredible to see someone pitch as long as he has in the same place at the level he has done. If you really sit back, it's incredible, and to be here and be able to catch him a couple of times is an absolute honor. And this day should be celebrated. It's even funny, back in the IC videos, he was throwing to AJ Ellis, and I know AJ from back home, so talking to AJ about Kershaw and how good of a teammate he was, how great of a pitcher, then kind of now coming full circle, I'm here, and I've kind of seen it myself, has been really, really cool. Yeah, now you're a part of that history, right? Is that something that you can take inspiration for the rest of your career, just kind of guys like that and learning and being around them? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Clayton's done it forever. He's definitely, there's Clayton and other people in this clubhouse, I mean, Clayton in particular, that has done it at such a high level that you can kind of sit there, be quiet, and just watch him go about his work and how diligent he is in taking care of his body and his preparation, his competitiveness. It's definitely something that you're always kind of looking out for. And you look at a guy like Clayton Kershaw, he's throwing 89, 90, just nasty slider, nasty curveball. Other guys in this rotation throwing 100 and just different ways to get the job done. How impressive it is to see him kind of reinvent himself and still be this effective, still be one of the better pitchers in baseball, even after all these games. Yeah, no, it's who he is. I mean, he finds a way. He's a competitor, and he knows what he's doing on the mound. He's played long enough that he reads swings, he can read hitters. He's an extremely fun catch. Can you feel that intensity when he's out there? Like, it uplifts the team, it feels like. Yeah, it does. I remember the first time I caught him, I was pretty nervous, actually. I remember I got behind the plate, and I was like, all right, like, it's another pitcher, but this is very important. So who's calling pitches in those situations? I'm doing my best to call him. Definitely has had our hiccups here and there, but that's how it is, just learning how he likes to do things. And we saw in this city when Kobe Bryant retired, you had a lot of his teammates going up to Kobe, getting autographed shoes, autographed jerseys, taking pictures. Think you'll do something like that, get an autographed jersey, something? I'm not very good with that stuff. I always regret it with the teams that I've been on. I've always kicked myself, and playing the sport, being in the locker room, you don't want to really kind of hoard guys like that, but I might ask for something because it is Clayton Kershaw. So
Awesome. We're here with Ben Rortvedt, Dodgers catcher, fan favorite. Everyone loves this guy right now for good reason because he's helping this team win a lot of games. The bullpen has been a part of the conversation for the last couple of weeks. They've had some struggles, but you see the talent in there. It's those same guys that really got the job for this team, or guys that have had a lot of success in this league. What have you seen from the bullpen lately, and how confident are you that they're going to be an asset when the postseason rolls around?
Yeah, those are our guys. Everyone knows what they're capable of. Everyone knows their stuff. I mean, it's baseball. Baseball has its highs and lows, and those are our guys. We're gonna ride with them, and it's gonna be a fun postseason, and nothing but great things coming ahead for those guys.
Have they let you in on like the bullpen dogs thing yet?
I don't know too much about it. I've heard a little bit, but like I said, I'm catching up on a lot of stuff around here.
Hey, you're the Rottweiler, man. So a couple more here, Ben. So what would it mean for you? Dave talked about it yesterday and the day before, just kind of possibly being on the postseason roster, things like that. Is that your goal? What would that mean for you to be a part of this group in October?
I don't have any personal goals, guys. I'm here to do a job. I'm here to try and add value, and if that comes with it, it comes with it. But seriously, I'm trying to win each day. I'm trying to help this team win, and I don't have any other plans besides that.
All right, this is the number one thing I wanted to ask you, your walk-up song. Give us the story behind it. Everyone's talking about it.
Not really much story behind it. I heard it one time. I thought it was funny. I've played it a lot, just trying to annoy guys, and it almost got stuck in my head, so I thought it'd be a funny, good walk-up, and it's done pretty well. I had it with the Rays when we were at Tropicana. It did really well. I got away from it this year, and I kind of came back to it.
Yeah, so it's here to stay?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, because it's been all over our heads for the last couple weeks. Last question here. Your Dodgers teammates, you're in a bar fight, and you can pick two of your Dodgers teammates to have your back. Who you picking, Ben?
I saw this one. I played with Brusdar Graterol with the Twins. I'll take him. He's not healthy. I'll take a Tanner Scott. I'll take those two guys.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what everyone tells me. I got to get a new question. I've been asked this for a couple of years. Everyone says Brusdar, Tanner Scott's going, but Ben, congratulations on all your success. All right, man. So Dave Roberts said that Ben Rortvedt is going to be doing the lion's share of the catching with Will Smith out. And the bats trended up. He's hitting over 300 with this team. The game calling has been great. His teammates love him. So this was another big pickup. And to think that Ben Rortvedt, a guy that was viewed as a throw-in in the Hunter Fiducia trade, could end up being the most significant trade they made. When you look at Brock Stewart and Alex Call, hopefully those guys can contribute. But being a catcher in the postseason is very, very significant. So, hey, Ben's the man, and we're happy to have him. Now, here's my convo with Andre Ethier before the game. This was just great insight from someone that knows Clayton Kershaw just about as good as anyone. And we saw Andre Ethier on the field. Like I said, I was a little reluctant to say what's up and try to get him an interview because my big fear was I can't get rejected for an interview for someone that I grew up loving for sure. As one of my favorite players, but he was really cool. Came up, talked to us about Clayton Kershaw, and very high praise for his former teammate, and kind of had a hot take at the end about where Kershaw fits as far as his legacy. All right, we got a platinum card carrying member of the Once a Dodger, Always a Dodger Club. Your favorite, Andre Ethier, joining us here at Dodgers Nation. Andre, we're here, Clayton Kershaw's special night. How do you even begin to describe what this night means to the fans and to the whole entire organization?
Well, it's tough to describe my emotions because I think my emotions are so personal, but I think a lot of fans probably feel the same way. I feel like we saw Clayton grow up. Like we've seen Clayton grow up to what we saw in the press conference yesterday. A husband, a father, a grown man now. I can remember Clayton here in 2006 being the young high school kid standing here in this dirt, just getting drafted, to 2 years later pitching his first pitch here in Dodger Stadium and wondering who the heck this rookie was that was going to come up and be what we saw today. And it's just really special to see and be a part of a guy's career that way. I was here for a lot of his best starts, a lot of his best days, and then I've seen what he's turned his career in with not his best stuff and still battle and do all of it. It's unbelievable. And you've been through the battles with him. What did your relationship mean to you with him, just going through that and seeing, like you said, go from the guy that was a guy that highly touted prospect that turned into one of the best pitchers to ever do it? Yeah, I think that's what you say. This game's so tough to play, and we know that, and we see it all the time. And to have 18 years of a career where you could go and compete and arguably be the guy that in a way, saved this season with the way he's stepped up and done it this year and been the rock back in that starting rotation. And he always finds a way to be Clayton Kershaw every year, and it doesn't matter. He always finds a way to step up and do it. And I think it's just a great way to remember him. And I'm honored to be here and be a part of it and pay my respects to a guy that gave me so much in my career. I can remember when I first came here, this team wasn't very successful, and it slowly kept building, from 2006 to 2007, 2008, when he got here, and to see what we are now as a successful envy of the entire league organization with the success and what we have, and it's pretty neat to see, and it's kind of a full circle closure from the start to the end here, and the last thing I kind of say, to speak poetic about it, is he's the last of the guys in his organization left who actually spent time in Vero Beach. And, I always kind of held that dear to me, that I got a chance to bridge the gap from all these old time players that you saw, down the hallways and stuff that were, the Brooklyn Dodgers, the players who went to Vero Beach. And, this is the last of the Vero Beach spring training guys that are still in this organization today.
Do you have a favorite moment with him?
Favorite moment with him? So many to speak. It's probably just the ones sitting in the clubhouse, his start days, which were just so methodical and so intense that everyone had to at first walk on pins and needles, because he had certain things that he had to do every day, throwing the ball against the wall, his certain table in the locker, in the training table that everyone knew, and it was fun to see a player who was new on the team or wasn't aware of it to kind of get in the way. And the irk in the eye of Kirsch came in, and the stare. And the stare came of like, why are you even here? You're supposed to know. So just some of the the behind the scenes stuff you get to see with Kirsch.
Does it seem to you like he's really enjoying and embracing this? Just like we know the intense Kirsch, but it feels like he's just kind of opened up to kind of embracing this whole retirement.
Yeah, and that's what it's funny, guys. We know text about that all the time. Like that wasn't the Kirsch I remember. It's you grow and you become more relaxed in this game naturally, and it's fun to see that he's able to enjoy his successes. And I think that's what the biggest part about this is that he was so intense and so focused on just competing that day that I know for a fact that was the same way I felt. Like you were just trying to survive and get by to the next day so that you can get there and succeed. And you can see that he's actually taking a step back and enjoying that, and it's great to see for him.
A couple more. We really appreciate the time. Captain Clutch here. How do you think his legacy fits as far as just all-time great status? Is pitcher of his generation?
No, pitcher of all time. I think that's what you start to see. You don't realize it, but you see someone throw up a stat on there, and he's top 1, 2, 3 in this stat. He's top 1, 2, or 3 in this stat. So I don't think you just talk to him about in the light of a generational pitcher. I think you have to talk to him as all-time pitchers. And I've been saying that from the day I retired, that he's the first ballot guy, and he's only cemented that even more all these years later, that he's a first ballot guy and now in the talks of being the greatest of all time.
Give me goosebumps saying that. Last one, Andre. What advice would you give him for retirement?
I think he's figured it out pretty well himself. Enjoy your family. Enjoy those trips. I think he kind of hinted at it yesterday that he talked about it with his kids, and that was the same kind of decision that I had with my kids. They were like, hey, when are we going to go to see Yellowstone National Park? When are we going to go do the stuff that families sometimes get to do in the summer that you don't get to do when you're playing baseball all the time? And when that tug comes, enjoy those. I hope he gets a chance to go out and go to the places that his kids want to go and live some of the things that they want to see. And I know they're enjoying baseball. I know they're enjoying this life. But for him, I know he wants to be a dad and enjoy raising his kids and experience those moments that he might be missing. Being a chance to be here every day and playing baseball.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Andre. By the way, you're one of the most common answers when we ask the fans who is your first favorite Dodger growing up. 90% of the time it's Andre Ethier. So thank you so much for joining us here at Dodgers Nation, my man.
No, appreciate it. Love Dodger Nation.
Take it easy, bro. Take it easy, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Dodgers Nation. See, Andre Ethier, Captain Clutch, loves Dodgers Nation. We love him. He is the man. It was a great time talking to Andre Ethier, Captain Clutch, and all the cool things you had to say about Clayton Kershaw. That was awesome stuff for sure. All right, guys, so show's running a little long, but this show is always about you guys. You guys are what make this show what it is. So let's do a quick 7th inning stretch.
The 7th inning stretch.
All right, we got Jack Feidel. New drinking game. Drink every time someone says as of late or of late. Doug said it 4 times. I'm tipsy right now. That's fast. Hey, I mean, that's baseball, right? I mean, what did Vin Scully said? It's the what have you done for me lately sport. So there you go. Anthony Calissimo, why not give Bobby Miller a try? You know, I was big on the Bobby Miller train, and he hasn't had as much success of late as he did before. He had those moments where he had some high highs and then transitioned, saw the velo trend up. I wouldn't rule it out completely. I mean, if I was down in Arizona tomorrow, I definitely would run that by Dave. The truth is, everything is on the table right now. Dodgers, Girl, Dell, Blake, and the rest can struggle. The problem is, once he walked a run in, you take him out, period. That's a management mistake. They need to take responsibility for their wrong decisions. Yeah, I absolutely will give you that one. That when they walked Devers, that made no sense. You don't intentionally walk a guy when Blake Treinen is struggling with command like that. So I definitely agree with that one for sure. But still, he has to go out there and execute and get the hitters in front of him out. George, D-Mac looking like a ninja today. There you go. 3 Ninjas. Great movie. Zen Master 619. D-Mac, is it bad I want the Dodgers to finish 3rd in the National League so that I can go to Game 2 of the wild card? Is it bad? I would say the Dodgers can beat anyone. The Dodgers' biggest competition is the Dodgers, but I do think that as far as playoff seeding goes, you definitely want them to be at home. So would you rather go to a game where there's more of a risk that your team's going to lose, but you're actually there to see it? Or do you want this team to have a deep run in the postseason? I think what you should root for is whatever you think gives this team the best chance to have a deep run. But I got news for you. Even if that in that scenario they had to go on the road to like Wrigley or something like that, I still would think this team has a good chance. I really do, with their starting pitching and their offense. They absolutely do. We got Ahmed. I'm with D-Mac on Fordo, but I'm not getting him tattooed on me. Ahmed, think blue. You're soft, man. Step your game up. Put your money where your mouth is. And Michael Conforto, we'll play some stuff from him yesterday, but he had this open conversation with Dave Roberts, and he's just been better lately. And he's someone that is a big league at bat, whether it be off the bench or when you start him against right-handed pitching, considering that Tommy Edman hits better against lefties right now. So when you've got a righty on the mound, you're going to have Conforto in left, and you're going to have Paz in center and Teoscar Hernandez in right. So he's still a part of this team and has a role right now. So you have to consider that. Foxy, I'm a mustard-only gal when it comes to Dodger Dogs nostalgia for when they were good. You like the Farmer John's better. You don't like the Papa Quintella. Only mustard's kind of crazy. I like it, though. Jeremy Buckley, D-Mac. After you interviewed Caspi, he went downhill. Let's hope that wasn't... Okay, so there's more cases that the Dugout Live karma has worked in a big way, as far as Muncy went off, but then he got injured pretty shortly after that. But Ben Kasparius, though, that is different because I still think Ben Kasparius is an option, and he's different in the way they used him because they had him bulked up as a starter, then he had him as a reliever. I think he works best as a 2-inning reliever at most with this current team. We've got Ray Viguzma. D-Mac, are you now a football? Okay. Justin, are you now a football announcer? I don't know what that means. Justin Lamas, Mason Miller or Johan Duran were available at the deadline. Just saying, Justin Lamas, they were never going to get Mason Miller with the package that the A's gave up. Duran, they possibly could have, but it was always going to be tough. But hey, we'll see how things play out. I mean, Vargas, Andy Paz hit a home run off of Duran. It was the first time he had given up a hit off that curveball. Things happen in the postseason. I'm very confident that they have a lot of internal talent. They just have to get creative. Guys like Roki and Sheehan and Shohei and Kyle Hurt, Brock Stewart, Will Klein. There are some options, and the starting pitching is so good that I would rather have the Dodgers starting pitching than have some of these key bullpen pieces. How has Mason Miller worked out for the Padres? He's been good, but that team hasn't. All right, guys, so we'll do some more 7th inning stretch tomorrow, but we are running out of time, so let's get to the walk-off.
The walk-off.
All right, so for Clayton Kershaw, we had his teammates. I'm going to pull that up for his teammates and the jerseys. So we'll take a look at that. But first, here, listen to Clayton Kershaw's speech addressing the Dodger Stadium crowd before yesterday's game.
Fans, on this very special day in Dodger history, where over 4 million fans have attended Dodger games this season, we're happy and honored to have our guy, Clayton Kershaw, join us to share a few words. The floor is yours, Kersh.
Wow. It's been an amazing 18 years. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. And I wish I had more to say other than it's just been incredible. And I wouldn't want it any other way. It's been the most impactful 18 years of my life. I've raised 4 kids in LA. And to get to be here with you today and just get to say thank you one more time is just the most amazing thing in the world. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for everything. And remember, we got another month left. So we'll see you at the end of October.
By the way, you notice the Clayton Kershaw bobblehead, almost like a bobble arm. This thing kind of detaches like that. But I think it was an awesome night. I mean, there was a lot of emotions. I think the way it worked out was great. I mean, it's so funny how baseball is because he was going to face one last hitter when he got that strikeout to Devers. And because that strikeout, he would pass Warren Spahn for most strikeouts for an opposing pitcher against the Giants. And that win, that leveled the all-time record between the Giants and the Dodgers in the regular season. It had them tied for the first time since the 1800s. So fittingly against that team up north, SF stands for season finished after that series. But I thought it was really cool to see his former teammates there. That's what really stood out to me. And not only were they there wearing Clayton Kershaw jerseys, and they were all sitting towards the front. You had Austin Barnes, you had AJ Pollock, Trayce Thompson, Jimmy Rollins. You had all these guys that have been a part of it. Andre Ethier was there. It was just a really cool thing to see. And I asked Clayton how impactful that was to have those guys right next to him. And here's what Clayton said about those guys showing up.
Clayton, a lot of your former teammates were here. They were sitting in the first row wearing 22 jerseys. What did it mean to have them here to celebrate this?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, just guys from every generation of Dodger that I got to play with, from, Russell and Dre to Barnesy and J-Roll and Trayce and and AJ was here, Pollock, and even Matthew came tonight, so just all facets of my life. I had family, friends, neighbors, everybody from back home came too. So, and Ellen hasn't missed a start. I think the last 10 starts or something. She's been racking up miles since school started, trying to get everybody here to see these starts. So, I don't have enough gratitude and thanks and words. I think I just need to write it all down or something. I can't adequately express how thankful I am for tonight, this whole season, my whole career. It's just been, I'm just so thankful I've gotten to be a Dodger this long.
So Clayton Edward Kershaw, one of the greatest to ever do it. Remember that 2.54 ERA, the greatest in the modern era for any pitcher, the lowest ERA. You would have to give up 146 earned runs before he gets his next out to have an ERA that would be close to 3. He could do that and still have an ERA sub 3. That's how good Clayton Kershaw is. But that is going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. You can follow super producer Noel at Noise by Noel. Emma, we'll find out how to follow you somehow, but definitely give those guys some love, follow them as well, and drop your comments down below. I want all your takes on all things Dodger baseball. We're going to be responding to your comments, featuring them on the show as well. Go to gearup.la to pick up our new merch. Go to Discord to join the Dodgers Nation Discord, and hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, hit the like button. Remember that nothing absolutely... Oh, yeah, sorry. Russell Marr was there too. Great to see him, this first catcher. But thanks for everything, guys, and make sure that you join us tomorrow for another jam-packed show and post-game shows from now until the end of the postseason, which will be until November, hopefully. And that's going to do it, guys. Remember, nothing, absolutely nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.